In the 1940s and 50s, many Puerto Ricans relocated to northeastern cities to secure employment. And let's talk about Cuban Americans because there is a lot of diversity within the Latinx community. In 1959, Cubans fleeing Fidel Castro came in waves, with lighter skinned, better educated Cubans leading immigration into the United States. This upper class group were able to bring their belongings with them, while the wave that follows just months after Castro's control is not allowed to bring their possessions with them. And then finally in 1980, the third wave of Cuban immigrants arrived. This group is poor, not well educated. They are known as the Marielitos, and they are darker than the earlier immigrating Cubans. A growing and fast growing percentage of United States citizens are Latinx from a variety of backgrounds. There are a number of LatCrit researchers. It's a numerous and growing field. Some of the researchers include Mark Tizoc Gonzalez from the University of New Mexico, Saru Meitam Bandudzo from Tulane University, Sheila Velez Martinez from the University of Pittsburgh, Lindsay Perez Huber, and Francisco Valdez. And these are scholars who write about the varying experiences of Latinx and in both education as well as in the law. This is LatCrit as defined by Valdez and Bender in 2020. That's Latinx identity in law and policy without essentializing this variegated and multifaceted identity that embraces race, color, ethnicity, language, sexual orientation, gender identity, immigration status, national origin, and so on. And to be clear, the identifier Latinx personifies the Spanish settler colonialism that conquered much of this hemisphere, whose predations resulted in the mestizo, mulatto populations of Spanish, African, Indian ancestry. That's to say, people whose physical appearance or phenotype varies significantly. Raquel Cepeda did extensive production of knowledge and with in-depth DNA research to discover the multiple cultures which make up her heritage. Anti-subordination is addressed here when Cepeda explained that borders are arbitrary and should not constitute the division of human rights. Cepeda's work with Life is Precious is an example of the cultivation of community and coalition as she helps suicidal Latinx teenagers embrace their lives, embrace living, and embrace the idea of pushing through to see one more day. Schools have a responsibility to serve their student bodies. This is an application of LatCrit in schools. Students, families, and other stakeholders need to be treated with respect for their ethnicities and racial makeup. It is up to teachers and administrators to make sure that Latinx students and all students feel like they see themselves in school culture. Ethnic-based holidays and celebrations should be incorporated into curriculum. So, in part, one reason, because students who are not students of color should be able to develop an understanding and empathy for others who are not the same as themselves. In addition, and very importantly, students of color must be able to see themselves in school culture. They must be able to see themselves represented. No one ethnic culture should dominate education. I appreciate you taking this journey with me through my explanation of LatCrit as well as the memoir. which influenced me the most. I've learned a great deal in this class. This is a list of the references that I used. And once again, thank you. I appreciate you being on this journey with me.